Okay, today's the day. IGN just posted their review of their 6 hour demo of Crimson Desert. I'm sure you've probably already seen a bunch of other creators already released their information about the 6 hour demo, right? So, pretty big news with Crimson Desert today. There's going to be a lot of new information around the internet. And so, yeah, I wanted to do like an IGN kind of breakdown video. I have not watched this IGN video. So, yeah, you're going to get my first reactions. And I will be pausing it throughout the video because I'm sure we're going to be seeing some new stuff. But I'm not going to be pausing like every damn second, so don't worry. But yeah, here we go.
And now, a bloody battle unfolds between the Greymanes, who fight to uphold his will, and the Black Bear forces that seek to set it aflame.
Every once in a while, a particularly ambitious game comes along and immediately hooks the audience. In Crimson Desert's case, showing a grand-scale world that recalls elements of Breath of the Wild and The Witcher 3 quickly garnered a mystique for its ridiculously over-the-top ambitions for a new open-world action game. However, since its reveal back in 2019, it has taken a long time to get a clearer picture of how the ambitions driving Crimson Desert have taken shape. And now, in 2026, it's garnered some healthy skepticism, leading many to feel it might be one of those games that's just too good to be true.
It's us ordinary folk who are paying the price.
Thankfully, with the now firm March 19th release date fast approaching, we have some extended hands-on time with developer Pearl Abyss's large-scale single-player action game. After diving into the opening hours of this grand-scale sword and sorcery adventure, we got to see just how detailed and vast the world of Crimson Desert is in real time, and what sorts of oddball quests and brutal combat encounters are to come in protagonist Cliff's adventures across Pywell.
Let's go, dude.
Crimson Desert focuses on the story of wandering warrior Cliff, a member of the Greymane faction that seeks to keep the continent of Pywell safe during harsh times. But after a ruthless warlord...
Okay, sorry, I'm going to pause it there. I'm sure there's already been a couple new snippets of gameplay back there, but I already can tell, like, the mini-map functions, like, way back here, like, here, and, like, just the other little points of interest on the map. I can already tell that those have changed a lot because I've watched a lot of content about Crimson Desert and all these things down here. They've definitely changed it a little bit. So you can see like this, the big delay they kind of had, it was not for granted, man. They really took it seriously and really dialed the game in. So it's just really good to see that. I think we're about here.
But after a ruthless warlord decimates much of his crew, Cliff himself is seemingly killed in battle. But he's soon resurrected by mysterious new allies that come from the Sky Realm known as the Abyss. Now tasked with rebuilding the Greymanes, he'll recruit new and returning members to his cause, push the limits of his newfound powers, and directly confront a civil war and a malevolent force that's threatening the balance of the world.
And I'm not sure I'd be much help on my own.
Originally planned as a direct prequel to the MMORPG Black Desert Online, Crimson Desert is now a standalone adventure set in the same universe. Even without knowing the lore of Black Desert Online, Crimson Desert keeps connections light aside from the similar high fantasy setting and, occasional references. It totally throws itself into the style of a Western high fantasy epic, but with the added energy of an Eastern style action game in the vein of Final Fantasy. The opening chapters of Crimson Desert do well to introduce Cliff as a rugged and stoic hero who can easily cut down enemies in his path, but is also willing to lend a helping hand to the citizens across the land.
But they got what was coming to them. All thanks to you.
Though much of the footage we've seen showcased the grand spectacle and ludicrous action.
Okay, I'm gonna pause there again. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like I can just tell. Like, sure, I pointed out the mini-map little things that they changed probably, but like I can just tell that the game looks so much more polished. Like I don't know. It just looks like everything is going so smoothly. Like when he's sure they've definitely added some cutscenes or trailers that were already previously released, but like all the newer gameplay they're releasing, I can just tell like it looks so much better than it did like a year ago when they released at Gamescom and all that other trailer stuff. Like, it's just looking so much better and better, right? Because yeah, this is the newest demo, right? Because they got to play on this, so this is the newest version of the game, right? So we're seeing everything being updated, which is just absolutely awesome. But yeah, here we go.
In Crimson Desert, our hands-on time largely focused on the more laid-back tutorial set in the Hernand region of Pywell. We had played Crimson Desert 3 times before this extended hands-on, all of which focused on isolated boss battles and spectacle combat. But with this tutorial setting the tone for the pacing and storytelling, we've now got a much better idea of the larger structure of this open-world adventure. While Crimson Desert has gotten a ton of comparisons to The Legend of Zelda, The Witcher, and even Dragon's Dogma, one game that really came to mind during our hands-on was Red Dead Redemption 2. Despite what we've seen before about how fast you navigate the massive world, at ground level, there is a surprising focus on navigating its densely...
Yeah, I think that is so true. Like, if you notice, like, just alone on the minimap, like, it takes a lot out of Red Dead Redemption 2, which is awesome because that game's absolutely badass, right? But, I mean, yeah, that game takes definitely a lot of inspiration from Red Dead 2, which is great. You know, I love it because just with the minimap things, you know, and the points of interest that, like, they kind of, like, highlight yellow and you got to, like, go into them and, you know, and find the person you need to talk to. It's just like Red Dead. And then when you enter the conversation with that person, everything slowly starts to, like, you know, lean in towards the conversation, if you know what I mean, right? It's just, it is a lot of Red Dead 2 on this game, which is awesome. I love it. And yeah, just all of it. It's so cool, and I'm glad to see that they took a lot of inspiration from the game, because I love that game.
populated areas with care and attention. We spent a lot of time just wandering the back alleys, interacting with people going about their day, finding new shops and cooking recipes, and even uncovering optional activities that do a good job of making the world feel bustling and lived in.
What a woeful fate.
Some of our favorite moments from the opening hours came from seeing what sorts of side quests the townsfolk would pull us into. In one instance, we encountered a man who fell from his roof and needed help with cleaning his chimney. And that is exactly what we ended up doing for this side quest. We climbed up on the roof, positioned ourselves on the top of the chimney, and used our newly acquired broom to clear out the gunk to help the husband get some relief.
Oh, my back. You've done me a huge favor there. Would you come off it, woman?
Look at him.
Despite the tone and action being serious, we're pleased to see how much humor and quirkiness were packed into Crimson Desert's opening hours. There are plenty of enemy bases to topple, but we also spent some time playing some back alley games of rock, paper, scissors with the local ruffians.
Let's play rock, paper, scissors.
That's
No
awesome.
crying if you lose.
There's even a quest that had us rescue an abducted sheep to cheer up an upset child, and seeing the very serious Cliff engage in such activities was much more amusing than we expected.
Now, is this the friend you were looking for?
Woolly? That's not Woolly. Woolly's got a fluffier tail.
Cliff begins his journey with a fairly modest skill set and knowledge of the world, and as in traditional open world action games, the larger pull of Crimson Desert will be to expand his abilities and insight. When you pick up quest information, recipes, and even bounty notices for roaming targets, Cliff will expand his knowledge and fill out his records of all the wildlife, characters, and important events of the world. We were impressed to see how much was packed into this comparatively
my
modest
goodness.
section of the massive.
Holy crap. Look at the size of the map. That's absolutely ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Bro, what?
Game world. Seriously, just looking at the map had us taken aback by how
Oh my-
large
look at
Pywell
that.
was. It was
That's insane. That's absolutely ridiculous. Like, look how far he zoomed out. And then he just kind of went, oh my god. This map is so huge. I mean, sure, there's a lot of water on the map, right? But, like, still, though.
packed into this
Hey, look at
comparatively
this.
modest section of the massive game world.
Dude.
Seriously, just looking at the map had us taken aback by how large Pywell was. It was
That's insane. I think I saw, like, something about the Crimson Desert map. It was, like, a speculation. And, yeah, that speculation was definitely right. Like, the map looked just ginormous. Well, 80 hour to like 100-hour game. That's for sure.
Interesting to take in Crimson Desert's pacing and its deliberately detailed approach to navigating and interacting with the world initially took some time to get used to. Even as a tutorial, we were kind of surprised to see how much time is spent on getting players to really take in the many features and opportunities to find. Granted, it is very much in the vein of Red Dead Redemption 2's movement and interaction, but admittedly we felt overwhelmed by just how much you could interact with. You can actually go up to nearly all citizens to greet them, or even rob them, provided you have a mask to disguise yourself, of course.
I pray the day greets you well.
Despite the range of activities, Crimson Desert is also a combat-heavy game, and even with Cliff's limited skills, the battles you can get into are quite brutal to see unfold. Initially, we started brawling with bandits and goblins around the city. Still, eventually, things took a turn when rival knights and other faction leaders started looking to get a piece of Cliff. The mini-boss battle against Matthias was a particularly thrilling fight, and even as one of the early encounters, it did a good job of showing how visceral the battles can get. Eventually, Cliff will make trips to the mythical Abyss realm, where we navigated a series of floating ruins far in the sky. Stepping into these visually stunning environments was one of the best moments from our hands-on time, and it also gave us
look at that,
a
dude.
jaw-dropping view
That's insane. Like, and there's so many of these islands
of the
throughout
world's
world.
vast
Like, look at that. That's just crazy,
landscape.
man.
These are also
Awesome.
segments that introduce the new Abyss powers in some puzzle platforming challenges. These magic powers elevate Cliff's combat and traversal skills to use his force-style powers to manipulate objects and use a force jump ability to propel him off the ground. Eventually, we were granted the ability to glide and took it out for a spin by skydiving back towards the ground. It is a fun ability to use, but it definitely takes a ton of stamina to get the most out of it.
The power to soar through the open skies is yours to command.
Throughout the game, Cliff will acquire Abyss Catalysts, which will
Oh,
serve...
here we go. This is like a good view of the skill tree. All right, I'm going to mute this because I kind of want to just look at it for a second. Let's go back. Look at that skill tree, man. Holy, that's a big skill tree. Okay, so it looks like there's obviously different types of skills for sure. Looks like this one's stamina related. Maybe this one's like strength and like maybe this is like your ability. Like, wonder if he hovers. So, oh yeah, because this is your health, it looks like, which is cool. Let's see. He didn't really hover over all of them, but it's really interesting. Let's see it again. See, oh yeah, your spirit. And then I wonder if he I wonder if he clicks on. Yeah, that looks good, man. All right.
lists, which will serve as skill points to upgrade stats and unlock new abilities. These upgrades include improved jumping and more combat skills such as a suplex and more advanced sword strikes. In addition to exploring towns and the surrounding wilderness, we also get to see the early...
I really just want to suplex people so bad. It looks like the most fun, like, most craziest cool ability. Like, you could just in WWE, like, body slam people. Dude, that's what I want to do the most.
goings on of the Greymane faction system, which focuses on building up a crew, sending them on missions, and gaining new resources. Though we weren't able to see it evolve much, it was impressive to see that it's actually a full-fledged management system that will continue to grow as you explore the world. We really enjoyed the flow and action in Crimson Desert, and completing the tutorial was a solid onboarding to the larger adventure ahead. Based on our previous hands-on time, Crimson Desert currently feels much more intuitive and less complicated with its controls. Still, it had the recurring issue of being too complicated for its own good, with its systems trying to cram actions and features into a fairly limited set of submenus and combinations. For instance, you'll often have to manually equip key items and gear to activate some prompts, which can feel cumbersome. This all ties back into the attempts to make players feel like they're having a more tangible connection to the world, but it can often feel too overcomplicated for its own good.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like, I think I've heard a lot of people say about, like, the complex, like, just the sheer scale of the buttons and just like the controls of everything. It's a lot. Like it is a lot, right? Which is fine. I'm fine with that at all. Like I have no problem with that. But yeah, I definitely hear a lot of people say like especially the combat system and just like everything. It's a lot, right? It's just there's a lot to this game, which, like I said, completely fine with me. I'm 100% fine with that. That's what I love about these games. I like how they just throw you in with so much stuff, and you just kind of like you gotta get in the right spot of the game, right, to really get comfortable, and it takes a while to get comfortable, I think, and that's why I like a good example would be KCD 2, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That game, dude, did not care about you. It threw you in the game and be like, all right, good luck. And I loved it. This is one of my favorite games of all time. So that's kind of obviously everybody's different, but there's no hand holding in this game, I think, and I think that's a good thing in my opinion. But yeah, here we go.
For its own good. Along with the opening chapters, we also got a chance to get another look at the mid-game of Crimson Desert, which saw a powered-up Cliff take on new enemies and a more powerful boss that matches up to his souped-up skills. Moreover, Crimson Desert also includes new party members that can be swapped in if you want to try a different combat style. While Cliff is still the central protagonist, playing as the tanky berserker Unka or the nimble and fierce Damien offers up some fun alternatives to Cliff's playstyle. It does well to showcase the variety within Crimson Desert and how the game will ramp up with more zany encounters that blur the lines between a high fantasy adventure and steampunk fantasy. Even with the lengthy hands-on time, we were still only scratching the surface of the larger adventures to be had in Crimson Desert.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that statement, because it's just like 6 hours, dude, is not enough for this game. Like, it's not enough. Like, you need so much more time in this game to really get going. And so I think that could be not necessarily the best thing, just because some people could be impatient, right? And be like, I want to just go, I want to get going right away. It's like, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's definitely going to take some time for things things are going to take some time for it to start kicking off, So, yeah, I think it's like kind of like Red Dead 2, where it started off pretty damn slow. And then after a few hours or so, not necessarily 6 hours, but it took some time to really, after that first act, it took some time to really get going. So, yeah, and I think this game is definitely in the same boat as that. So, yeah.
There have been many games in the past that try to go for large, open-world settings, but don't often really justify the need to go big and bold. But we were honestly quite impressed to see that Crimson Desert is not only presenting a case for its take on an open-world action-adventure game, it is also having fun with the concept by pushing its attention to detail and just how much there is to unpack within the sprawling world. So far, Crimson Desert is showing a lot of promise. It's certainly been on minds for several years now, which has invited a host of comparisons with other large-scale games. But our extended hands-on time has made us feel optimistic and intrigued by the game's maximalist action style. And that's gotten us plenty interested in seeing if the full game can deliver on reaching the same highs as other genre greats. For more on the latest upcoming games, check out our recent previews of Samson, a Tintleston story.
All right, well, there you go. That's kind of it. I'm sure there's a lot of other creators doing way more gameplay, so I'll have to maybe try to get some more gameplay, but I mean, yeah, that's a solid review. Not the craziest, but got some new looks at some things, right? But yeah, man, this game is just looking crazier and crazier. Like, it's just ridiculous how this game can keep doing that, right? So yeah, it's just looking more insane. So it's really, really good to see. But yeah, I'm just I'm curious now, because like I was saying earlier, 6 hours, I just don't think that's enough time to give this game a review, right, and really judge it. It's a good point to get into, but still, I just don't think it's enough time, right? But yeah, I think, and also I'm pretty sure like Crimson Desert, like Pearl Abyss, they don't want creators going too crazy on the new footage. Maybe I could be wrong, but because that's why we didn't really see so much new footage. Or it could just be IGN, right? And I hate IGN's freaking 1080p. I hate that so much. I don't know why they just don't do 4K. It annoys the crap out of me. But yeah, this is basically it, and I thought it was good. The game looks just better and better, man, and so the game literally releases 2 weeks from tomorrow, so 2 weeks from Thursday. So yeah, it's gonna be. I'm so excited for this game, man. It's definitely one of my most anticipated games for sure. But I think that's gonna do it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, this game is just getting crazier and crazier. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.